Earlier this week, the findings from this year's Arab Youth Survey were revealed, and young people in the region say they're more likely to want to live in the UAE than in any other country. It's the fifth such survey and showed us some key trends in thinking across the region. It was conducted by ASDA'A Burson-Marsteller, and their CEO, Sunil John, joins us now to talk about the research in more detail. Thank you so much for coming in. So
Good to see you, Kimberly.
Yes. Indeed. So can you tell us about the depth and reach of this survey?
Before I explain that, Kimberly, you know, the Middle East region is 22 Arab countries in this vast swath of land. But what defines this region is its demographics. 60% of the population of the Arab world is below the age of 25. That's 200 million people. And as people say, the future of the Arab world is defined by this young demographic. And that's why, as a firm, ASDA'A Burson-Marsteller goes into the Arab market and interviews 3,000 young people in the age group of 18 to 24 in 15 different countries. These are the 6 Gulf states, the Levantine countries of Jordan, Lebanon, and Iraq, the North African countries of Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt, and of course Yemen. So that's 15 countries, 3,000 face-to-face interviews. These are very detailed questions, not more than 240 questions with our target audience of age group between 18 and 24. It is an independent research and the largest of its kind done of the largest demographic in this region, and it's run by Pension in Berlin, the independent polling firm from the United States.
How do they choose exactly the 3,000 that they interview?
There are 24 screener questions. So you have to fit the age group, you have to be a national. So when we go out into the UAE, we have a sample that is about 40% Abu Dhabi, 40% Dubai, and 20% Sharjah. You have to be a UAE national or a Saudi national or an Egyptian national. You have to be in that education gap and the income gap as well. Okay. So it's spread across the country. It's across income groups. So it's a very representative sample. 3,000 face-to-face interviews, Kimberly, makes it the largest survey of its kind among Arab youth.
Okay, let's have a look at the UAE. It came out looking fairly good. What do you think it tells us about perception of the UAE across those 22 countries?
You know, that's the most interesting finding, one of the interesting findings. And we asked the question of Arab youth, which country in a vast choice of people, of countries, which country would you like to live in? And a majority, 30% of the sample voted for United Arab Emirates as the country they want to live in, compared to, let's say, France, 18%, USA and Turkey is about 16%, and Saudi Arabia about 13%. The second question we asked them, which is the country that you like your country to be like? And again, United Arab Emirates came tops with nearly 30%, France and USA, Turkey, and China being the others. And of course, the model that young people want to follow, that their own country needs to follow, is again UAE came tops. This was a top finding to show that favorability in terms of UAE compared to any nation in the world is a tremendous finding. And the most interesting bit is this is for the second time consecutively that UAE came up on top.
Were there many differences from the previous year's survey?
There were a number of key findings. The most important finding, of course, is that a majority of Arab youth, nearly 74% of Arab youth, felt their best days are ahead of them. That is a huge sign of optimism. The second finding is that we asked them, after the Arab Spring, do they feel proud of being an Arab? And 87% of the Arabs polled said, yes, we are proud of being an Arab. They're not anxious, they're not concerned. Of course, they have some issues, and those were the other findings that came. Okay,
a lot of optimism. We're running out of time here, but what are the challenges that came out of the survey, do you think?
I think, you know, the top concerns were, you know, jobs. You know, I mean, the Arab world has probably one of the highest unemployment rates. Double the global average. I think jobs is a critical aspect that that young Arabs are concerned about. Second is homes. There's a huge shortage of nearly 5 million homes in the Arab world. How do you meet those needs? Young Arabs are delaying the decision to buy a home because A, they are costly, 2, there's no mortgage finance, and things like that. Cost of living is going up. So young people are concerned about that, but however, they are focused on the here and now. They are optimistic of the future. And I think the Arab people have expressed their voice. It's now for the governments and the businesses to be able to meet this challenge.
So fairly universal reactions there from
across the world.
Arab,
Absolutely, yeah.
Sunil John, thank you so much for coming in, the CEO of ASDA'A Burson-Marsteller.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you.
Okay, another break now, but afterwards we'll have Graham on hand with all the latest sport, including
the World Championships in Abu Dhabi this week is the pinnacle of the jiu-jitsu world, but for some it was a springboard onto even bigger things. Damian Maia and BJ Penn went on to become UFC legends, and I'll be speaking to both of them after the break. Stay with Emirates News.